guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. And at last we are back at the National Railway Museum in York for a long overdue full lift tour of all the passenger lifts here. And as a bonus, you're going to get to see some trains arriving and leaving York Station that I shot some videos of back in October 2018. So we're actually going to start off with one of those now, which is a cross-country by Arriva train arriving and then leaving York Station. Alright then, so the first lift that we're going to have a look at today is the Keypad-Selection ThyssenKrupp. And you might be wondering, why am I starting with the best lift first? Well, the reason for this is because when I came here in October 2019, the entrance that this ThyssenKrupp is in had been closed to the public for pretty much one day. It was closed to the public to become entirely conference centre, which means no more riding that ThyssenKrupp. We almost got a ride in it, but sadly I think there was a conference on at the time, so security wasn't able to take us to it. So, because I didn't get a take in 2019, here's an old clip from October 2018 that I haven't released yet of this lift, just so that you're not completely without it. Alright, the final lift in the tour. Saved the best for last. Here we got our Keypad-Selecting ThyssenKrupp. Here we go. This isn't the chime as well. And it's free. Now how these work is you press the button, goes there, selection in hand, select your floor. When it says selection in hand, you cannot choose another floor. So here we go up. ThyssenKrupp, 630 kilos, 8 persons, built in 2007. The door closed button works. This is a nice one. Got a key switch over there. If I was to try typing in -1, incorrect key. Sorry, -1. Correct. You have to press it again. These are interesting systems, but interesting how the keypad button stays lit. You can tell where the other buttons have been before. Start buttons. It's a very interesting system. This is why I said this lift will last, because it's the best. I think it's the best lift because it's got the weirdest system. There we go. This was the final lift. That button's still lit. There it goes. And that will be it. Now for the next train clip, and this train is an LNER train arriving and then leaving York Station. next lift is probably the weirdest one in the museum, and this is the Schindler with the slap-on Dewhurst mod. And something that I found out at the time of uploading the original video of it, and confirming in person myself in October 2019, is that this is actually an old OTIS, but the Schindler interior and buttons and whatnot is all just a bit of a slap-on, and you can tell by how the indicator behaves, how it goes out in between floors and then doesn't show number again till quite late. That's how you can tell it's still running old OTIS logic. So what this is an old OTIS with a slap-on mod and interior renovation by Schindler, and then it has another slap-on generic mod on it. So it's been quite a lot of mod to this, and since last time I was here, it's actually had more work done to it. It's had the doors replaced and a couple of call panels replaced. It looks like it's been a whole door replacement sort of a thing, and as a result a couple of call buttons had to be replaced, and sadly the little indicator outside the lift on the first floor is no longer there, which is a bit of a disappointment because it was quite nice having a tiny little indicator on the door frame. But the lift itself, logic and the buttons and that, apart from this, haven't really changed that much, and at least the doors don't slam now on the side that isn't open when they are told to start closing. But it does actually still do that, so logic still perhaps a little bit funny in places. But anyway, let's take a look at it. Okay, we're back at the National Rail Museum in New York, and we're going to check up on all the lifts. No access to keypad ThyssenKrupp, because that is no longer accessible to the public.
Doors closing.
But this Schindler's had a bit of work on. I see Schindler. It's modernised by Schindler, but it's still got OTIS logic. Because of that. At least I think it is anyway.
Ground floor.
Here we are, it's got Windcrest phone. Dewhurst and D series.
Opening.
Press 1.
Lift going up. Doors closing.
Okay. These doors have been replaced. The outside indicators are gone. The call panel has been replaced. This panel I think has been replaced as well. These Dewhurst don't feel the same anymore.
First floor.
And it's had quite a lot of work done on it. It's still got that
Doors
D series.
opening.
So, hello. Is that a Transpennine Express train I see arriving in York Station? Let's have a look at it, shall we? The next lifts on this tour are probably the most generic of the lot, and that is the Stannahs that take you from Great Hall to Station Hall, because I think you've got to go under the road or something, which is why you've got the little tunnel that you go under. So if you're going from Great Hall to Station Hall, you go down one and up the other. So yeah, these are probably the most generic ones, but still pretty interesting nonetheless, with the older Dewhurst, I believe, on the inside, which is actually not something you see too much nowadays, and it actually feels a lot different to the modern Dewhurst, which is a refreshing sight. It's not just your plain old standard Dewhurst. But one of them on the indicator shows a U instead of a 1 for the upper level, which is quite weird. And what's interesting is they actually use ground and 1 instead of ground and basement or whatever, ground and tunnel level. But it's Stannah. Do you really expect them to put in complex floor numbering if they can just cheap out and go ground and 1? Well, I wonder. Let's take a look at these lifts, shall we? Stannahs by Station Hall. I think it's like 80s Dewhurst or something. It's actually really nice. Not even kidding, that's actually a really nice button to press. Here we are at ground. I'm actually on a pay Station Hall visit, so we're going to switch here. See if it's open. When it eventually levels. assume that worked. Slowest doors in the land, but oh, that button doesn't light up. We've got a burnout light fixture. There's your indicator. Same buttons again. For some reason it says door open key operator only, which makes so much sense. That's a motor and a half in it. And as soon as it stops, that's it. Back down the Stannah we go. Basic lift. This is the one with the U on the indicator. Oh, it's gone now because I was looking at the buttons in the cab the whole time. Alright. Oh, sorry. This one should hopefully be here. No, it's not. So I'll wait until we get it. And in the next episode of Which Train's Leaving York Station Today, we have another cross-country train. It seems that I decided to film a few of these, but oh well, still a nice train. Let's have a look at it leaving. And we have another lift to show you, and this one is another Stannah, and this is the one that goes up, I think, to another entrance to the conference centre. I'm not too sure. The stairs up always seem to have a little barrier stopping you from going up, but the lift's always open, so I guess what's the harm in riding the lift up and down? But this Stannah, of course, has had the slap-on Dewhurst mod. The call buttons have been replaced on the upper floors, and of course the inside buttons have been replaced. But for some reason, the ground floor call button is still original, which is quite weird, and also there's only an indicator on the ground floor. And this also has the custom voice, which is something refreshing to see, considering, apart from that, pretty much just a standard Stannah, except it has pre-doors, which is something I didn't think Stannah could do. So with that being said, let's take a look at it and see how it's doing. Let's see if we're allowed to ride this Stannah. I won't ride this one, but press G.
Level 2, balcony galleries. Doors closing.
Doors closing. And we've snuck a ride in this lift. Don't think it'd be any problem, but we got it anyway.
Great hall.
And for this lift, that's it. We're getting towards the business end of the tour now, so how about have another LNER train? Again, I seem to have filmed a couple of these as well, so with that being said, here comes the LNER train. And now, the final lift. The best one that we can still access, the glass ThyssenKrupp Mk1 MRL. And I mean, it does still jolt the start like it's always done, but it's still a really nice lift, and you get a good view of the motor in action as well, because the entire shaft is glass along with the lift itself. So with that being said, there's only one thing we can really do, and that is to take a look at it and see how much it's jolting the start up and what the motor looks like in action. So with that being said, again, let's go take a look at the lift. Okay, now at the glass ThyssenKrupp that we can still access. You might be able to see up there the motor. Watch it move. There's the motor. Here's ThyssenKrupp. Go down. That doesn't work. Here we go. Oh, it's a bump and a half. ARG. Go up to 1. Door is open. And the door is closed. Really nice glass ThyssenKrupp, with the exception of that bump. You can watch it go down. Here it is. There it goes. You can hear that bump. Here's car top. And that's it for the ThyssenKrupp. And that is going to do it for the lifts in this museum. I got one more train clip to show you, but before I show you it, I'd just like to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, why not leave a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. But with that being said, one last train clip, and it's 2 trains in one, Transpennine Express and another LNER train, because I just couldn't get enough of those today, it seems. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and here is the last train clip of the video.